Embrace democracy, or you will be eradicated.
Damn!
Designation, Liberty Prime. Primary directive, war.
Hey there, Meergo here, and this is the 5th and final installment in our Fallout series. Welcome to the Meergospective of Fallout 4. Bethesda released Fallout 4 on November 10th of 2015, where it was immediately met with mixed reviews. The critics seemed to enjoy it, but fans weren't so sure. The argument usually boils down to this: this game is fun, versus this game is righteous diarrhea. I will admit, going into Fallout 4, that I was a little skeptical. Fallout 3 wasn't so good, and this is the next game in the Fallout Bethesdaverse, and they changed a lot. However, in my humble opinion, this game is far from diarrhea, and did exactly what Fallout 3 didn't.
We are the Brotherhood of Steel.
It makes you feel like the hero of a retro-futuristic dystopian wasteland set in the great American city of Boston.
Newsflash, boss. This guy is kind of a big deal.
No matter where you go in the game though, Boston will hereby be known as the Commonwealth. I guess they were tired of Boston winning all of the professional sports games. In true Bethesda fashion, the graphics are a mix of good, not so good, and what the
My institute designation is K198, but I prefer Jenny.
The environments are believable. You do feel like you are walking through a region that was decimated by a nuclear attack. Buildings are disheveled, falling apart, or boarded up entirely. They did an impressive job of recreating the actual city of Boston as well. The skyscrapers are amazing to behold, and it's miles ahead of Fallout 3. To be clear, I'm talking about style here, not graphical fidelity. Yes, Fallout 4 came out 6 years after 3 and the textures are better, but more important than that, the environments are more varied and pleasant to look at. The old State House in Goodneighbor actually looks like the old State House in Boston that Mrs. Meergo and I went to on one of our first dates. Aww. Diamond City is even contained within the walls of Fenway Park, though it did take me far too long to connect those dots. Unfortunately, the longer you play through the game, the more samey and unvaried the world will become, though that's inevitable of a game of this size. Except of course when you are traveling out to the glowing sea, because that place is messed up. Get through there as fast as possible. The creatures you will encounter in the wasteland are interesting. There are now two-headed deer in addition to the familiar two-headed cows. Other than this, there are only a few new enemies. There are still giant radroaches and irradiated mole rats with anger issues. There are also still super mutants and deathclaws with similar rage issues. One of the biggest differences is with feral ghouls. They now crawl out of hiding places like a robocollar trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Exploring abandoned buildings can quickly turn into you being surrounded and fighting for your life. Now for the what the. The character models in Fallout 4 are ugly and everybody's faces look kind of messed up. Their eyes will dart around in weird directions, they walk into stuff all the time, and apparently everyone can melt into doors now. A specific example of a fugly character model is Mama Murphy. She is a drug-addicted, psychic old lady who looks like her head is about to float off of her neck. She also looks part Klingon because the ridges on her face are not of this world. Beware Mama Murphy. At least Dogmeat is still adorable, and definitely the goodest boy. The audio design is what you would expect. This is the first Bethesda RPG where your character is now fully voiced, and wow, does it make a difference.
I'll see you in hell, along with the rest of the Commonwealth.
The music fits what is going on in the world around you. Pre-apocalypse music is reminiscent of the 1950s, fitting their mid-century aesthetic. The music becomes epic and orchestral during battles, and combined with the explosions make you feel like you're part of a World War I drama. You can even run around the wasteland vibing to some classical music if you want. The voice acting is done pretty well, and there are some humorous conversations to be had.
Sounds like someone made a sticky.
Don't expect miracles with the lip syncing though, you'll be disappointed. Your robo-butler Codsworth will even say your name if you choose one of the presets in the game. There's 900 plus names that Codsworth will say, so odds are in your favor that he'll call you by yours. Often it's the unnecessary small touches that are the coolest. Your radio is important down the road as you need it to start missions, listen for instructions, or use during quests where it will give you directional information. Overall, bravo. The gameplay is fun with plenty of places to explore and enemies to obliterate. VATS is now slowed time instead of stopped time, so you can't go get a coffee while the raiders are waiting to see where you decide to shoot them. There are special bobbleheads and magazines to collect, improving your stats and making a nice decorative display in your base. The inventory system has been improved and is much better laid out than in the past. This means you can actually organize your inventory and sort according to various parameters like weight and value. The Pip-Boy is pretty user-friendly and will be instantly familiar to those who come from Fallouts 3 and New Vegas. The world map on the Pip-Boy is helpful, but the local map is nearly impossible to decipher and use effectively, so I usually don't even look at it. Companions are varied and interesting, each of which can be recruited to work for you at your settlement while they aren't out kicking wasteland ass on your behalf. Some companions are more awesome than others.
Strong find milk. Drink milk. Make super mutants stronger than humans.
While some are better than others, all will most certainly get in your way or blow your cover at some point. Just like the player character, they're also more forthcoming and will often interject during quests.
My friend here just did you a favor, Skinny. You always did have bad taste in women.
Finally, there is an affinity system with companions approving or disapproving of your actions. Getting higher affinity will trigger additional dialogue with them, and you can even get special rewards. If your affinity gets too low with a companion, they may leave for good. Overall, it's a neat system. There are two big complaints with Fallout 4, the first being the skill system. There isn't one. They dropped skills entirely and corrupted the perk system to something that even I, loving the rest of the game, consider way worse. Now if you want to say, pick harder locks, you just have to meet the stat requirement to unlock the perk and the level requirement to unlock further ranks. I guess it's fair to say they combine perks and skills, and it's okay. It's worse than the old system, but it's okay on its own. The second big complaint is that the dialogue has been dumbed down, which it definitely has. Now every conversation consists of you typically responding with yes but sarcastically, no, and wait, what? Your response is also hidden behind a few words that may or may not translate to what your character actually says after you choose it. Despite it being worse than previous games, again, I think it's fine. Having a voiced protagonist is well worth more limited dialogue. You can still be a jerk though, so I'm a fan.
Are you telling me you're human?
No, not human at all.
I knew it! Get away from my stall, you synth!
So Fallout 4 taketh away, but it also giveth. The crafting system is much more impressive.
Try not to sever anything you might miss.
But you can also mod your weapons and armor to high heaven. In an age when it seems like every game has a crafting system for some reason, this is one of the better ones. You don't even have to use it, it's just a convenience. In addition to crafting, the new settlement system is awesome. Around the world are certain areas where wastelanders may or may not already be living. You can take control of these areas, usually by doing a quest, and sometimes by ruthlessly murdering everyone, which will allow you to build structures like a survival game. You can manage your settlements by building defenses, making sure it produces enough food and water, recruiting settlers, defending it from raider attacks, networking your settlements together, etc. You don't have to do any of this though. You can just use a settlement to dump all your junk and mod your weapons. It does mean that you will be picking up absolutely everything though, since almost all items can be scrapped and used to craft much cooler stuff. Definitely recommend setting your carry weight to 10,000. You start off creating your character canonically named Nate or Nora. You are a spouse of the other with an unused law degree from the town of Sanctuary Hills, a suburb within the Commonwealth. Your house is reminiscent of a typical 1950s ranch-style house, complete with your baby boy Sean, a pretty sweet old-timey car, and of course your robo-butler Codsworth. Early one morning, a salesman comes to the door with a very convenient offer to buy space for your family in the local vault.
Tech calling.
Good morning.
Isn't it? Just look at that sky out there.
After some small talk, you learn about the impending nuclear attacks while watching TV.
Confirmed reports, I repeat, confirmed reports of nuclear detonations in New York and Pennsylvania.
Well, hot damn, you are going to be totally fine. You just bought vault space 5 minutes ago. After this, you run to the vault. Don't worry about your spouse and kid, they'll catch up later. Then you witness the bomb fall as you descend into your new home.
I love you. Both of you.
We love you too.
For those of you who have been living under a rock for the last 9 years and are unaware, some pretty messed up stuff goes on down in the vault.
Let the boy go. I'm only gonna tell you once.
I'm not giving you shot!
After you are thawed out for good, you are now on a mission to avenge your spouse and find your son. Good luck, survivor. The game actually does a good job funneling you down the main storyline, but the side quests and activities enrich your experience and are worth doing. You'll become a homesteader, farmer, mercenary, arms dealer, and scientist all in the same day. You're going to be busy. So busy, in fact, you might lose track of time and forget about finding your son for a while. This is by far the most enjoyable way to play the game, but you can of course just barrel down the main storyline and finish the game pretty quickly. There are 3 main factions to join up with: the Minutemen, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the vending machine liberators, the Railroad. I guess you can also join the Institute, who are the Commonwealth's boogeymen, and play through that ending, but everyone in the Commonwealth will be super pissed off at you for it. Joining one of the 4 aforementioned factions will determine what side quests you will be engaged in. The Minutemen will have you defending settlers and recruiting them to your side. A lot. These people just can't seem to get their shit together. The Brotherhood will have you committing genocide against all things not human and stealing technology that they can hoard and use to their benefit. But they do have Liberty Prime, so at least they got that going for them.
Liberty Prime. All system analysis. All systems nominal. Weapons hot.
The Railroad will have you smuggling synths out of the Institute.
The Railroad helped me.
Oh God, those kooks.
And affixing satellites to buildings for everyone's favorite IT guru, Tinker Tom.
Oh man, we got lucky. I got you, you Institute bastard, I got you.
Tinker Tom is not only a code-cracking savant, he has also got the craziest headgear in the entire game. Lastly, I'm not quite sure what you do in the Institute because they're terrible and I don't play that way. No matter which of the non-Institute factions you choose though, the end game will be exactly the same. Seriously, the game ending animation for all 3 is identical. You just have different people standing behind you while you blow up the Institute. If you're wondering if I'm going to bring up the game twist, I decided against it in case any rock dwellers wish to remain unspoiled. Fallout 4 has a lot to offer fans of the franchise. It's got an interesting story within a desolate and expansive wasteland. Its characters are interesting and you genuinely want to help them no matter which faction you choose to go with.
Patriotism subroutines. Engaged. Honoring the fallen is the duty of every red-blooded American.
It has a good ending with a satisfying payout. However, the ugly character models, wonky animation, and the repetitiveness of the side quests do this game no favors. That's why my score for Fallout 4 is an 8.5 out of 10. If you like this video and you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe. Leave a comment below to share your thoughts on Fallout 4 or to suggest games that we should cover next. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 points to starboard. Yes.
Hey, are you all right?
We did it! Victory at last!
And she's okay. Game on! Yeah, game on.